Hello guys, Ana, Bruno, how are you today? Today we are seeing vocabulary and listening. Your student book page 23, please, but before starting that, let's just watch a video about past perfect and past simple, which was the subject of our last class. Okay, just for you to revise the difference between them.
Hello, I'm Mia.
And I'm Tom.
Welcome to the Grammar Hub, past perfect and past simple. Look, Tom, there's a great story in here about how a girl survived after an accident at sea.
Wow, really? What happened?
Her name is Rachel Lanston. Here she is.
It says she was competing in a yacht race in Brazil when her boat suddenly capsized and she was trapped on a tiny island.
That's right. The race had left the port a couple of hours earlier and Rachel got lost. She suddenly realised the other yachts had disappeared.
The weather suddenly changed. There was a storm.
And her boat sank. But she swam onto a small island in the middle of the ocean.
How brave. Had she taken a flare?
No, she hadn't. Anyway, the shore was very far away, so she decided not to swim back.
How far?
She had travelled in her boat for about 2 hours before it sank, so she calculated she was 20 kilometres away from the mainland.
20 kilometres? That is far. How long was Rachel on the island?
A long time. She had been on the island for 3 days, when on the 4th day, she saw a boat. Luckily, the boat began to sail towards her.
Had the people on the boat seen her?
Yes, they had. They were search and rescue workers. They had come to find her.
Wow, what an incredible story. Now it's time to take a look at the past perfect and the past simple.
We use the past perfect to show that one event happened before another event in the past. We use the past simple for the event that happened more recently.
Rachel had travelled for 2 hours before her yacht sank.
Rachel had been on the island for 3 days when she saw a boat.
To form the past perfect affirmative, we use had plus the past participle of the verb.
The other yachts had disappeared. To form the negative, we use had not, or the short form hadn't, plus the past participle.
She had not taken a flare, she hadn't taken a flare.
To make questions, we change the word order of the subject and had.
The people on the boat had seen her. Had the people on the boat seen her?
In short
Just a second, guys.
answers, we don't usually repeat the verb.
Had the people on the boat seen her? Yes, they had.
Here's today's task.
True or false? Rachel was sailing in North America.
Rachel was sailing in North America. Is it true or false? It's false, okay? The other one.
Rachel had travelled for 20 kilometres before her yacht capsized.
True or false? It's true. And the last one.
Rachel had been on the island for 3 weeks before search and rescue workers found her.
It's false. Very good, guys. This was just...
See you next time. Bye.
Okay. Good. If you still have any questions about the subject, past perfect and past simple, please let me know. You can send me messages. Okay? Good. Now let's start page 23, vocabulary and listening. We are talking about today extreme adjectives. Extreme adjectives. Okay, we have here some extreme adjectives. I don't know if you know them, but let's have a look at their meaning. Here are the extreme adjectives. Very tired. What do you think? Which extreme adjective from the box means very tired?
Exhausted.
Exhausted. Let's put it here. Exhausted. Next one. Very unpleasant. Very unpleasant. Look at the adjectives again. Let's listen.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. Next one. Very hot. Look at the adjectives again. Very hot. Listen.
Boiling.
Boiling. Boiling is the same as very hot. Very angry. Very angry.
Furious.
Furious. Furious is the same as very angry. Next. Very interesting. Very interesting. Listen.
Fascinating.
Fascinating. Fascinating. Good. Next. Very cold.
Freezing.
Freezing. Very cold or freezing. Next. Very attractive. Very attractive.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Next. Very shocking and upsetting.
Horrific.
Horrific. Very shocking and upsetting. Horrific is the same. Next. Very big. Listen.
Huge.
Huge. Next. Very hungry. Very hungry. Listen.
Starving.
Starving. Starving is the same as very hungry. Next. Very small. Listen.
Tiny.
Tiny. Very small. Next. Very happy and satisfied. Listen.
Delighted.
Delighted. Next. Very memorable. Listen.
Unforgettable.
Unforgettable. Very memorable. And the last one, very frightening.
Terrifying.
Terrifying. Okay? Good. Back to page 23. Read headlines 1 to 7. Which 3 headlines are for positive stories? Positive stories. Exhausted travelers. Let me check if this audio.
Exhausted.
Okay. No, it's not. The audio brings just the pronunciation of the adjectives. Exhausted travelers return after terrifying helicopter crash. Family furious with disgusting holiday accommodation. Jungle explorer recounts fascinating trip in boiling temperatures. UN sends aid as huge famine leaves thousands starving. Family delighted with gorgeous new home. Horrific accident caused by freezing weather. And top 10 unforgettable films made on a tiny budget. Okay, which 3 headlines are for positive stories? What do you think? Could we say that number 7 is a positive story? Top 10 unforgettable films made on a tiny budget, né? Filmes inesquecíveis, os 10 filmes mais inesquecíveis feitos com um orçamento pequenininho, reduzidíssimo. Could we say that this is a positive story? Yes, definitely it is. Horrific accident? No, it's not a positive story, right? Family delighted with gorgeous new home? For sure, it is a positive story, right? What do you think about this one? United Nations sends aid as huge famine, thousands starving, definitely not. Jungle explorer recounts fascinating trip in boiling temp. Yes, it is a positive story, right? So we already have 3. Family furious with disgusting, no, and exhausted travelers, no, terrifying helicopter crash, no, it's not a positive story. Okay, so number 3, number 5, and number 7 are positive stories or positive news, right? Let's just, before moving on, let's just listen and repeat the adjectives in blue.
Exhausted.
Exhausted.
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
Furious.
Furious.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Fascinating.
Fascinating.
Boiling.
Boiling.
Huge.
Huge.
Starving.
Starving.
Delighted.
Delighted.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Horrific.
Horrific.
Freezing.
Freezing.
Unforgettable.
Unforgettable.
Tiny.
Tiny. Okay? Good. Moving on. Number 2. Match adjectives 1 to 14 with the extreme adjectives in exercise 1. So this is an exercise for homework. Okay? Number 2, homework. Good. Number 3. Word builder. Read the information. Then copy and complete the sentences so they are true for you. This is also for homework. Okay, extreme adjectives. We use extreme adjectives to give emphasis. Very bad, the same as horrific. So when I use horrific, I give emphasis to the situation. We don't use the normal adverbs of degree with extreme adjectives because very I can put with bad, but I can't put with horrific because horrific is already very bad. Okay? So instead of adverbs of degree, like very, we use absolutely or really. Okay? Instead of very horrific, absolutely horrific or really horrific. Okay? Good. So you have to complete sentences 1 to 4 to have a sentence that is true for you at the end. Okay? Moving on to exercise 4. I want you to read exercises 5 and 6. Here. Exercises 5 and 6. Do you think you will hear about news story A, B, or C? Paramedics assist accident victims. Teen receives compensation after disaster. Or firefighters rescue 16-year-old from drain. I'll give you some time. Have a look at exercises 5 and 6. When she dropped her phone, Rachel was called the emergency services. Rachel had her phone for immediately after the incident, Rachel. And in exercise 6, how did Rachel try to retrieve her phone? Who rescued her? Was Rachel injured? How long was she in the drain? Could she use her phone afterwards? Did Rachel mind that photos of her had gone viral on the internet? So try to guess. A, B, or C. Let's listen to check.
And finally, here's the story of an unlucky accident with a happy ending. Let's go over to Martha in Newville to hear all about it. Hello, Martha.
Hello. Yes, well, we all know how difficult it is to separate teenagers from their mobiles. But last night, 16-year-old Rachel Wright got into a very sticky situation right here. This is the drain where she literally got stuck when her phone fell down there while she was out walking the dog with a friend. So she decided to remove this very heavy drain cover and reach down with her feet. When she couldn't get out, her friend started to panic and called 999. By the time the firefighters arrived, Rachel had been down there nearly 10 minutes and a crowd of people had gathered. By the time they pulled her out, photos had already gone viral on the internet. Fortunately, Rachel could see the funny side and didn't lose her sense of humour. And she's joined us here now to tell us a bit more about her unforgettable experience. Hello, Rachel.
Hello.
Well, I'm glad to see you're well. You weren't injured, were you?
No, I wasn't. It was just totally embarrassing.
I can imagine. So, when you dropped your phone, why did you decide to go down there? I'm sure most of us wouldn't bother.
Yeah, it was stupid. But I was furious because I'd only bought the phone 2 weeks before. So I hadn't had it very long at all. And I thought it would be easy to get it back, you know?
But it wasn't that easy. They rescued you quite quickly though, didn't they?
Yes, the firefighters were amazing. They arrived in about 10 minutes and they just pulled me out straight away. They were going to send the paramedics, but fortunately, I didn't need any first aid.
So what did you do then, once you were out?
Oh, I ran straight home and jumped in the bath. I'd been down the drain, so it was pretty disgusting.
Yes, I imagine. And what about the phone? Did you rescue it in the end?
No, it was completely ruined.
And how do you feel about these photos that have gone viral?
Oh, they're hilarious. I don't mind, really. Worse things could happen.
Yes, indeed. Well, thanks for talking to us, Rachel. I'm glad you're safe.
Thank you.
Well, there's a story with a happy ending, which is more than we can say for the weather forecast, I imagine. Let's go over to Susanna to hear more about that.
Okay, guys. So what do you think? A, B, or C? If you answered C, you are right. Okay, firefighters rescue 16-year-old from drain. Very good. Now, you can go the video backwards a little bit to listen to the audio again so that you can answer exercise 5, questions 1 to 4, and answer exercise 6, questions 1 to 6. Okay, that's all for homework. Just let me ask you one thing. In exercise 3, I want you to send me your true sentences 1 to 4 by audio, okay? You can send me on WhatsApp an audio with your sentences 1 to 4. Okay? Good. Now, I want you to go to page 124, student book. 124. Just give me some time, please. Pronunciation lab. I think it's here. 24. Yes. Unit 2, right here. Unit 2. Okay. Listen and repeat the words.
J.
J,
Usually.
usually,
Casualty.
casualty,
Decision.
decision,
Z.
z,
Victims.
victims,
Capsize.
capsize,
Disasters.
disasters. Okay, so we have different sounds here. The first one, j, usually, casualty, decision. And the other sound is z, victims, capsize, disasters. Okay? Listen to these words. Which 3 words have got this j sound? J sound. Listen.
1. Television.
Television.
2. 0.
0.
3. Exposure.
Exposure.
4. Music.
Music.
5. Revision.
Revision.
6. Please.
Please. Okay. Check your answers. Again, television, exposure, revision. Okay, the other sounds are Z sounds. Zero, music, please. Okay, good. Now, talking about word stress in multisyllable words. Multisyllable. Okay, when the word has more than one syllable. Listen and repeat the words.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Horrific.
Horrific.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Starving.
Starving.
Furious.
Furious.
Hilarious.
Hilarious. Okay, listen again, and this time, which syllables are stressed?
Gorgeous. Horrific. Absolutely. Starving. Furious. Hilarious.
Check your answers. Gorgeous. Horrific. Absolutely. Starving. Furious. Hilarious. Okay? Good. And part 2. Copy the table into your notebook. Then listen and complete the table with the words you hear. Which syllables are stressed? So we have words, 2-syllable words, 3-syllable words, and 4-syllable words. You have to listen to the words, put them in the right place, 2-syllable, 3-syllable, or 4-syllable words, and then you have to decide which syllable is stressed, okay, in each of the words. Listen.
Freezing.
Freezing.
Exhausted.
Exhausted.
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Tiny.
Tiny.
Fascinating.
Fascinating. Okay, now you can go your video backwards a little bit if you need another time. And then you put the words in the right places here and decide which syllable is stressed. Let's check your answers. You can pause if you need some time to do that, okay? Good. So tiny, 2 syllables, exhausted, 3, disgusting, 3, terrifying, 4, fascinating, 4. Okay? Good. Now let's check the stress. Freezing, exhausted, terrifying, disgusting, tiny, Fascinating. Okay? Good. That's the end of pronunciation part. So now I want you to go to workbook, to your workbook, page 104. First of all. Page 104, workbook. And blogging, the next one here, page 104. Advance your vocabulary. First stage. Look at the pictures. Good. Okay. Check the meaning of the expressions in the box. Listen and repeat. So if you need to use your dictionary, feel free.
Bandage. Be in a coma.
Be in a coma.
Bite.
Bite.
Bleed.
Bleed.
Burn.
Burn.
Choke.
Choke.
Clean a wound.
Clean a wound.
Faint.
Faint.
Give CPR.
Give CPR.
Have a heart attack.
Have a heart attack.
Have stitches.
Have stitches.
Take someone's pulse.
Take someone's pulse. So use your dictionary, can be an online dictionary, Cambridge or Macmillan, okay? To check these expressions here, okay? Look at the pictures and label them with words and phrases in exercise 1. Which expressions can't you see? Okay, so we have just 6 pictures. Right? Just 6 pictures. So we have some extra expressions, right? Because here we have like 12 expressions. Okay? This is for homework, right? Good. Then circle the correct words. Then do the quiz. How good are your first aid skills? How good are your first aid skills? Okay, this is also for homework. After circling the correct words, you answer the quiz. Good. In exercise 4, complete the sentences with words and phrases in exercise 1. So this is also for homework. In exercise 5, answer the questions so they are true for you. Write full sentences. Have you or one of your friends ever fainted? What happened? Okay, so here you have to answer. A short answer can be, and then what happened? So you have to tell the story. Okay? Have you or one of your friends ever burned yourself? What happened? The same. Okay, it can be a short answer to begin with, and then what happened? Would you like to do a course in first aid? Why or why not? Have you ever helped in an accident? What happened? These answers, I want you to send me an audio with your answers, okay? Don't forget, number 5, an audio on WhatsApp, okay? So don't forget, audio for exercise number 3, page 23, and audio exercise 5, workbook, page 104. The other exercises, you can use the book to send me the photo of your book, okay? Now, go to page, workbook, let me check the page. Here. Good. Workbook, page 18 now. Page 18. Just a second. Good. Escapes. Good. Here, page 18. Okay, so these exercises are for homework. Label the pictures with the adjectives in the box. Extreme adjectives. Then, circle the correct words. The words in bold. Okay, you have to circle one of them to complete the sentence. Then, 3. Complete the sentences with extreme adjectives. In some cases, there is more than one possible answer. You don't need to do this lifelong learning strategy. This lifelong learning strategy is for next class. Okay? No, you can do it as a homework. Describing things and experiences. When you're describing things and experiences, avoid repeating common adjectives like good and bad. Use extreme adjectives to make your descriptions more interesting. Rewrite the sentences and replace the underlined words with extreme adjectives. Okay? It's just to practice. And the last one, answer the questions. Write full sentences. Okay. As this exercise is personal, I want you to send me your answers for exercise number 4 in an audio on WhatsApp. Okay, so this exercise number 4, workbook page 18, is also to send me an audio. Okay, good. Now, skip pages 19 and 20 and go to page 21. Page 21. Okay, page 21, listening. Just listening, okay? Listen to a talk about the adventure, Eric, and match names 1 to 4 with what they describe, A to D. Listen.
everyone, and thanks for coming this evening. I'm sure you're all looking forward to tonight's film, Blind Sight. But before we actually watch it, I'd like to say a few words about the man who inspired it, Erik Weihenmayer. As many of you know, Erik lost his eyesight at the age of 13, but that hasn't stopped him from becoming a highly skilled explorer and athlete. Skydiving, ice climbing, long-distance cycling, skiing, and last but not least, mountaineering. Erik has faced challenges that most people without his disability would say no to. In 2001, Erik became the first blind person to reach the summit of Mount Everest, an achievement which earned him several awards and a place in the history books. Before his Everest expedition, he had already climbed Mount McKinley in Alaska and Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. And since then, he has achieved his goal of climbing all the 7 summits, that is, the highest mountain on each continent of the world. As someone who enjoys pushing himself to the limits, Erik has also participated in several adventure races. In 2011, he and 2 teammates took part in the American reality TV series Expedition Impossible, finishing second in a race across Morocco which involved trekking, climbing, kayaking, and riding in the toughest of conditions. Erik believes that nobody needs to be a victim of their disabilities, as his own attitude to life shows. With this in mind, he set up No Barriers USA, a non-profit organization to help people who are physically challenged lead active and rewarding lives. Soldiers and other survivors of war are just some of the people that the organization supports. The documentary we're about to see is about a climb Erik made with a group of blind Tibetan teenagers as part of a project called Climbing Blind. It all started in May 2004, when Erik and 6 of his Everest team members traveled to Tibet to train students from a school for the blind there. 5 months later, Erik led them on a climb up the north face of Everest, where they managed to reach a height of over 6,500 meters. It was the first time a group of blind people had ever climbed so high, and Blind Sight tells what is an unforgettable story of courage and determination. It's a fascinating journey, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, check your answers. You will have to listen again to this audio to do exercise 2 and 3. So you go backwards a little bit on the video and you can listen to the audio again to check, to answer exercises 2 and 3, okay? I'll give the answers for the first one. So Blind Sight, a film, The 7 Summits, Some Mountains, Expedition Impossible, a TV program, and No Barriers USA, an organization. Okay? Good. Very good. So listen to the audio again and answer exercises 2, 1 to 5, and the questions in exercise 3, 1 to 4. Okay? Good. Don't do the Reading, don't do, the speaking part, don't do the speaking part, and don't do the writing part, okay? Good, so let's see what you have for homework. Student book, page 23, exercise 3, send me an audio. Exercises 5 and 6, send me a photo. Okay? Then, page 124, student book. No, sorry. It's not 124, we've already done. Workbook, page 104. 104. Check the meaning of expressions you don't know in exercise 1 using an online dictionary. Can be Cambridge or Macmillan or even Lingui, okay? Then in exercise 2, label the pictures 1 to 6 and which expressions can't you see? In exercise 3, circle the correct words in bold and then answer the quiz. Exercise 4, you can send me a photo of this whole page, but don't forget that exercise 5, you have to send me an audio with your questions. Then workbook again, page 18. Send me a photo of this page, done. But don't forget that exercise 4, you have to send me an audio with your answers, okay? And finally, page 21, the listening part, send me a photo of exercises 2 and 3, done. Okay, guys, that's all for today. If you have any questions, you can call me on WhatsApp. I'm here to help you. Okay, whenever you need me, you can count on me. And thank you. We meet each other next week. Let me think about one thing, because from next week on, we will meet using Zoom. I don't know if you have already used this app, Zoom. We can meet online, okay? But let's try to think about, because the internet in my house is better in the morning. So let's try to think about a time. It could be like 11 in the morning, if it's good for you. Instead of meeting on Wednesdays and Thursdays, maybe we could meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11. What do you think? Let me know, okay? So thank you guys. Bye-bye. See you next class.